Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am streaming to you from beautiful Budapest here in Central Europe. Hi Shaikh Fazil, Azhar Udin, Ankit Singh. Nice to have many students in the class already. This session will focus on listening section. Part 3 and Part 4 continuing from our first exam that we started yesterday. Hi Flower Sun Kuldeep and many of those who are just joining in. This lesson is presented to you by and the materials from aehelp.com. For the academic version of the IELTS exam, check us out there. And for the general version, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have loads and loads of great materials for you to prepare for the exam and get those high band scores. Our academic website looks like this with the blue background. Click that big red button to join, get all of our practice exams, the lesson videos, over 100 hours of HD videos, and also a fully interactive course and an app for your phone as well. Of course, the site is fully responsive. Hi, Hina. Nice to see our members in the class as well. This is the general version of our website here for general IELTS students. Again, to get access to all of our great materials, click that big red button to join. And of course, on these websites, you can get help with your writing and speaking also. And you can speak to other students as well for free. So check these out. If you have questions, don't be shy. Just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com, and I will do my best to answer. Hello again, Dr. Krishna. Nice to have you in the class. Students, if you like our exams and you would like them in hard copy, you can order them from Amazon to follow these classes with paperback books. Just look for AE Helps Academic IELTS or the title GE Helps General IELTS. Students, today listening part 3 and 4. Tomorrow, with members, we'll finish the task 2 that we just started in the last class, and then we'll have some speaking part 2 for everyone. So that's the schedule for tomorrow, and of course, then we'll have more live classes in the following week. For now, let's start some listening. So this is section 3. Section 3 and 4 are the more challenging parts of the IELTS exam. Hi, Eugen. Love those emojis every time. So make sure that you are really focusing on the questions, thinking about paraphrasing, and to warm up our English mind and train our ears, we'll just get right into this listening audio. So I'm going to hop over to our website here, log in at the top into my student account where we have all of our goodies, computer-based exams and lesson videos, audio CDs, and so forth. I'm going to just hop over to CD1, track number 3. Now, students, this audio, please write the answers into a separate document, okay? So please put your answers into a separate document, and then we'll go through the answers together. Don't put the answers in the chat. Give everybody a chance to answer on their own, okay? Now, if it's quiet for you, please use a headset and turn up the volume on your end. Here we go, everyone. I'm just going to double check my audio, make sure it's max. It is. So here we go with listening part 3.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear 3 students organizing a class project. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26. I just got an email from the professor saying the due date for our European History group project has been pushed back to Monday.
Great. That means we'll have the weekend to work on it.
I suppose that's good news, but I don't really want to do any homework on my weekend. I had planned to go away with my girlfriend for some relaxation this weekend.
I suppose that's understandable. Maybe we should just have it done by Friday, the original due date. That gives us today and Thursday to finish it.
We can do that, I think. I'm available tomorrow. How about we spend today planning it, assign tasks to take home with us and do tonight, and then meet tomorrow and put it all together? Does that sound right?
That works for me.
That doesn't work too well for me. My afternoon is very busy. I guess I'll just have to burn the midnight oil tonight.
What has you so tied up, Evan?
I have a basketball game after school today, and then my favourite football team plays this evening at 7. It's okay though. I'll get the work done. Let's get started on the planning.
All right. So we have to come up with a 3-panel poster about a topic in European history. I already bought the material for the poster, so we don't have to worry about that.
How much was it?
It was £3.
OK, we'll each give you £1 for the poster board.
No, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway.
Sounds good to me.
Right then, since there's 3 of us, my idea was that 2 of us could take care of the writing part of the project, while 1 of us could look after the artwork, making the poster look smart.
I'll do the artwork. I think I'm a pretty good artist.
I'll be happy to do half the writing. What topics are we going to choose?
Well, the professor said the topic has to be an event that took place somewhere between 1400 and 1800, so we can't do either of the world wars.
That's too bad. My dad is an expert on the Second World War, and he could have helped me with my part. What are we going to do instead?
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30. I was reading my textbook the other day and I read some really interesting information on the French Revolution.
That's a really good idea.
I know. How about instead of doing a summary of the French Revolution, we write about some of the people involved instead?
Oh, I like that idea. So who are some of the important people?
Well, there's the King, Louis XVI.
Robespierre was important, I think.
Yes, he was. And of course, Napoleon Bonaparte.
We should have 4 people, so you can each write about 2 people.
How about Marie Antoinette?
OK, so we have 4 historical figures. Each of you are going to write about 2. Now we have to decide how much we're going to write. Remember, we have to fill up a 3-board poster.
That's a good point about the 3-board poster. Maybe we should do a 5th person, then we can have 2 figures on each side with 1 in the middle.
Good idea. We can make the middle one really important. We'll make that one Napoleon. As for a 5th person, how about Voltaire?
Good. So how about I do the important one on Napoleon and a smaller one on Robespierre?
OK, and I'll do the other 3.
How long should each topic be?
I'd say 200 words each for the small ones and 450 for the big one on Napoleon.
I think that sounds about right. What do you think about meeting up later on?
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And always use that half minute wisely to check your answers. Make sure that you haven't made any silly mistakes with your answers or the questions. Now, let's look at these questions together, students, and then we'll give the answers and talk a little bit of strategy at the same time. So here we go with question 21. Write no more than 1 word for each answer. Number 21, what day of the week does the discussion take place? So when are these students sitting down talking to each other? Charlie says Wednesday. Okay. Anybody have a different opinion? Pooja says Wednesday. A lot of students are saying Wednesday seems to be the right answer. Now, students, you can use the abbreviation as well. So you can write WED like that, okay, into the answer key as well. Of course, the word Wednesday, it's a little bit of a tricky spelling. It's got that semi-silent N in there. They will accept this answer in IELTS. So even if you write this in the answer key, for the question booklet, write this just because it's faster, okay? So you can catch the following answers more easily, all right? Okay, now let's pretend like you are practicing with another student and you want to check their active listening. What's a good question that you could ask? What could be a good extra question to ask from your fellow student about this part of the discussion to make sure that you're both really listening to what's going on? This is a strategy we talked about yesterday, so many students that watched part 1 and 2 know what I'm talking about, where you can test your active listening by asking extra questions. What could be a good extra question at this part in the audio that you just listened to? Yeah, Boomy, very good. So what day is the due date, the submission day? Better way, Boomy, is the due date. So what is the due date? Yeah, and what is the due date? So what is the new due date for this project? Anybody catch that answer? So the original date of submission is Friday, and the new due date is Monday. Very good. Yeah, that was Monday. Okay. The original is Friday. Okay. And the students say, let's finish it for the original due date, which gives us today and tomorrow to work on it. What does that mean? It means that they are having their discussion on Wednesday, right? That's how we know. So this is active listening, and it definitely makes studying for the IELTS more interesting and more fun than just looking at the questions on the paper. And by doing this kind of practice regularly, you will increase and your score and improve your active listening, okay? Yeah, that's right, Boomy. So it says the professor pushed back the date from Friday to Monday, right? And then they say, well, let's finish it for the original date, Friday, which gives us today and tomorrow to work on it. Okay? So here you had to fill out this table. I got to it a little bit late. Sorry about that. But I think you should still have gotten this if you're actively listening for it. So here we have the group task and then when the task is done by this group. So they said, okay, let's do this today. So what are they planning to do today? Number 22. They're planning to do the planning. That's right, Pooja. Boomy. Dr. Krishna. Very good. Yeah, they're planning the project. That's right, Ranveer. Shirojirin. Very nice, Flower Sun. They're planning the project. Make sure you have good spelling with the double N. Planning. They're doing the project tonight. They said that. They'll say, okay, we'll do the work at home. So the writing, the art. So they're going to do that tonight. And then they're putting the project together when? Putting the project together, number 23. And it makes sense. I mean, they're finishing the project for Friday. So when are they hoping to have the project finished? That is correct. Yeah, very good, students. Tomorrow. Now, of course, students, for the IELTS exam, know the spelling of these key words. So tomorrow is a double R. If you spell it with just one R, of course, you'll get that wrong, okay? So be really careful to make sure. And Dr. Kirsten says tomorrow or Thursday. Thursday is okay as well. Thursday is abbreviated as THUR. Okay, so Thursday would be acceptable. Tomorrow makes a little bit more sense because today, tonight, tomorrow, it's a little bit more sensible, but you could have today, tonight, Thursday. Okay, definitely not next year. Chalu dong. All right, so tomorrow, but they'll accept Thursday because Thursday would be a correct answer. Okay. All right, and it's one word for each answer. Of course, pay attention to that. Now, multiple choice. We talked about this yesterday, so I won't repeat myself. Who paid the cost of the poster board? You have to think about it as, well, this paid for the poster board. And is the answer one of the women, one of the women's dads or fathers, or the man's father? Yeah, the correct answer is B. Anybody catch what the speaker says exactly to know this? So here's a little bonus question. What does the woman actually say? Anybody catch the exact words? It's some very nice natural English. What does she say? So again, take it one step further. That's right, Pooja. Yeah, she says, my dad paid for it anyway, right? Yeah, my dad paid for it anyway, because they say we'll give you £1 each. And then she's like, nah, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway, right? So father is paraphrased as dad, of course, all right? So watch for that paraphrasing. Very good, Natalie. You caught that as well. Okay, good. All right. A poster project. It's quite common in U.S., Canada. I know in these countries. I've participated in poster presentations myself. Poster projects are quite popular. There are these poster boards called a 3-board poster. They kind of look like this. They have 3 sides to them, okay? And then you have some information and maybe some pictures on each side of the poster. So basically a poster project or a poster board project. This is called a 3-fold poster. If you're wondering and you're going to be in university. These are used often for presentations at seminars and workshops and such. So that's what this is about. That's what these students are working on, is this 3-fold poster. Why 3-fold makes sense. It folds in 3 places and it's able to stand up on a table. So that's the logic of that kind of poster presentation. Has anybody ever done a poster presentation using a 3-fold poster or a 3-board poster? It's another way that we say it. Anybody do that? Brochure cow would be a small version. The poster presentation, they're big. Okay, they're 3 big sides, and then you put it on a table, and usually 1 or 2 of the researchers stand beside the poster and then talk about what is seen on the poster when people see it. Okay, so I can see a couple people have. They're like, yeah, I've done that. Okay. No, Boomy, people will do that even in high school. Okay, poster presentations. All right. Okay, cool. So just kind of giving you some cultural and academic insight into that as well. All right. It's not quite a PowerPoint, Alex. Not the same idea. This is actually a physical poster, okay, that you can carry with you. And you stand beside it, and then you talk about it, okay? All right. So here we go, 25-26. Write no more than 3 words. Pay attention to that. And or a number for each answer. The topic must be an event that occurred sometime between the years something and something. So here you basically need 2 numbers. You need 1 number, comma, followed by another number. So what are the years? Yeah, 14 and 1800. That's right. So the correct answer for 25 is 14 and 1800. Okay? And you don't need the word and because you have the word and in the question, so you just need a comma. Now this all goes into box 25 on your answer sheet because both of those blanks belong to 25. Be really careful, students. One of the mistakes that I've seen students make in the past is what they tend to do with these questions sometimes is they'll make a mistake in the sheet. So they'll put in, for 25, they'll put in 1400. And then for 26, they'll put in 1800. So be really careful with that kind of mistake. It's a good idea to check the numbers when you're transferring the answers to the answer sheet. That's, of course, for the paper-based exam, okay? So take a look at these numbers, okay? Take a look at those numbers, okay? It's important advice. So sometimes have a peek at the numbers. Make sure you're still matching the right number, all right? Okay, so let's keep going. You had a little bit of break at this point to review the following questions. And then you had to complete this where you're matching these letters to the actual people. Okay, so this is matching information to people. And this is where, again, you had that 3-board poster. And then the students said, okay, we'll put one really important person in the middle, and of course you should be visualizing here, and we'll put 2 of the lesser important but also important people on the sides of the poster with some information for each of them. Okay, and you had to listen for who goes where on this poster. So A on the side of the poster, B in the middle of the poster, C, they do not include this historical figure. All right. Number 26, did I miss that? Let's go back to it. Okay, sure. 26, let's jump back to it. Thanks for reminding me about that. So 26, what topic would the male student like to write on but cannot due to the assignment restrictions? So number 26, sure, let's do that real quick. I bet quite a few of you got that one. Yeah, very good. Second World War or World War II. Kuldeep, good answer, but just keep it. So here, students, the easiest answer, the fastest answer, and you should always go for the easiest, fastest answer, is World War II. This is okay as well. And of course, it has to be capital letters. So if you write small letters like this is wrong. Okay, because these have to be big. The reason being is that it's the name of the war. Okay, so capital letters, Shaikh and Navneet, be careful. The name of any event, person, place, object that fits specific, it has to be capital. Karen, if you write only World War, you will get it wrong because there's 2 of them. There's World War I, there's World War II. So you have to write World War II. The student says, my dad is an expert on World War II. Okay, so he wants to write not on World War I, but World War II. If you only write World War, it's wrong. You need the 2 as well. Okay. All right. So any special place, person, object, or event, if it's a name, you need capital letters. Okay, so getting back to 27, 28, 29, 30, you have to figure this out. 27, Robespierre, do they talk about it? Yes, when you hear it, you should definitely underline it, that you heard it. Robespierre goes into the middle of the poster, on the sides, or not on the poster. So A, B, or C. Alak, Haider, and Kuldeep agree that Robespierre is going on the side of the poster. So A is correct. Absolutely. Rousseau, did we hear Rousseau? Did anybody hear about Rousseau for 28? Were the students talking about him? No, the students weren't talking about Rousseau. So if you were underlining who they were talking about, you would have underlined these three. Okay, but you would not have underlined Rousseau because they don't talk about Rousseau. That's right, Hamza. They didn't talk about Rousseau. So Rousseau is not included. Rousseau is not on the poster. All right, and then Louis the 16th, the king at that time during the French Revolution. Anybody know where that's going? Louis the 16th? Yeah, also on the side of the poster. So the king, Louis, goes on the side of the poster. And Napoleon Bonaparte, number 30. Natalie says that's going to be B in the middle of the poster. He's the only one that goes there, right? So Napoleon in the middle, he's very important. So he is B. Okay, good. What would be a good question to ask your fellow student or teammate if you were doing some active listening practice for this one? What would be a good question for those of you that have heard the audio, maybe even more than once? By the way, students, I definitely recommend listening to these IELTS audios several times over and catching more and more information. Train your ears. So do not just listen one time only to an IELTS audio. Instead of listening to lots of different audio, listen to less audio but more times. Okay? So Eric says, how many characters were talked about? Okay. Yeah, Charlie, not what else, but who else? Who else will they write about, right? That would be a good question. Asking questions is arguably a more important skill than giving answers. So who else? Will they write about? When you learn to ask great questions, you will have no problem giving great answers. So who else will they write about? Who else? Who were the other two people in discussion here? Yeah, that's right. Voltaire, very famous writer, right? I believe like that, Voltaire. Yeah. And Natalie Nikiforova is a very famous woman in history. Absolutely. Voltaire and Marie Antoinette, I believe her name, something like that. So Marie Antoinette, who popularized the potato, right, in the world. Potato. Marie Antoinette. Yeah, she's a very famous and controversial figure. A lot of people believe she should not have been killed during the French Revolution. So Voltaire and Marie Antoinette. Absolutely. Bonus question for those of you who are interested in France. French Revolution, the start of modern day democracy. When is this day celebrated in France? Just for fun, before we get into listening part 4, it's a good little piece of information to add to your knowledge of world history. So French Revolution, that's what this poster is obviously dealing with, the French Revolution, which is regarded as the start of modern democracy that many of us are enjoying today. This is a big celebration in France, arguably the biggest celebration in France. When is it celebrated? So, French Revolution, start of modern democracy. Definitely good to add this to your knowledge. And what day? Okay, so you're saying it's not 1892. What day is this celebrated? It's the celebration called Bastille Day in France. Okay, and it is. It's for me. It's easy. Yeah, that's right, Chea and Taing. It's July 14th. So July 14th, it's Bastille Day. It's a huge celebration in France. And for all of those of you who are curious, it's also my birthday. So that's why it's easy for me to remember this day, because it's also my birthday, July 14th. So start of modern day democracy, French Revolution, and my birthday. So there's a little bit of information for world history and a little bit about me. All right. So here we go. Although I've never been in France on that day. I've been to France, but not on that day. I should go on that day sometime. Join the celebration. All right. Okay. Thank you, viewers. Thanks, students. Okay, let's get into part 4. So part 4 of the listening. It's a little bit more challenging. It's very fluid. There's no breaks, no pauses. We'll add up the marks after. So for these parts, you definitely want to do as well as possible. Okay, we'll add up the marks at the end. We'll do part 4 first, students. Let's get ready to listen. Okay. Alex Joseph said it's the revolution of modern IELTS. Yes, Alex. All right. So part 4, here we go. Get ready. Get focused. We're going to listen and then go through the answers together. Again, I'm asking all of you nicely, please do not write your answers into the chat. Wait for the end of the audio, and then we'll look at the answers together. Okay, we'll look at the answers together. So here we go, everyone. Let's take a look at our website here, and then let's get into this. So max volume on my end, use a headset, turn up the volume if it's quiet. Here we go.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a professor discussing climate change. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello class, hope you all had a good weekend. Today we will be talking about climate change. Life on Earth is going to have some adapting to do if climate scientists are correct with regard to their predictions of the Earth's rising atmospheric temperature. Humans and animals alike may have to change both their habits and habitats. The average temperature on the Earth's surface has risen by an estimated 1 degree centigrade in the last 100 years, and this trend is continuing at an ever-increasing speed. Until now, it seems that business and the environment have met as adversaries. But with the growing profitability of green products, perhaps business can play a positive role in the fight to save the environment. There is an ever-growing consensus that the cause of climate change can be linked to human action. To be more specific, environmental change is caused by the emission of greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is chief among these. So what's so bad about things getting a little warmer, you may wonder? Weather patterns could become more extreme. The polar ice caps could melt. Sea levels could rise, and instances of famine due to drought could also increase. On the other hand, places such as northern Canada will likely become more productive for farming and mineral and crude oil extraction. What isn't positive about the permafrost melting is that the ice is a carbon sink, and when it melts, it releases even more carbon into the atmosphere. It's clear that humans will have to change their relationship with the Earth and its resources, but the debate remains over who should be leading that change. Advocates of personal responsibility claim that small personal measures, such as changing light bulbs or riding a bike, can make a significant difference. On the other hand, governments from developing countries are calling for economic reparations to be paid by developed nations because, after all, it is the rich who cause most of the environmental damage and made money from it. The other major group that has profited from our increasing environmental degradation are corporations. Business has always been about production and consumption. The invisible hand of supply and demand has long run our economic system, and now there is an ever-growing demand for conservation. The question is, when will consumer demand be commensurate with green technological advances that allow for environmentally friendly products to actually be more profitable than those that pollute? One option to speed up this process is to have governments impose true cost taxes on every product that is sold. This would force prices to include an economic pressure to purchase or use products that will not cause further environmental degradation or carbon emissions. There is little doubt that climate change is going to cause a drastic difference to our environment and way of life. The questions that remain to be asked revolve around how to solve the climate crisis and who will pay for the restructuring of our patterns of consumption that have led to these problems. With the ever-growing desire for green consumer goods, perhaps businesses can answer some of these questions by producing environmentally sound products. Even if business has a role to play in saving the environment, it is clear that we all need to do our part.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
So here you have half a minute to check your answers, and then you have another 10 minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet in the paper-based exam. In the computer-based exam, it's not quite the same because your question sheet is your answer sheet. So you're writing directly into your answer sheet. So that's kind of one of the advantages of the paper-based exam structure, okay? For now, although you never know, that could change in the future as well. All right, so let's go through this together, give the answers. Now you can see that there's a lot of paraphrasing here, so you really had to pay attention to the information and a few key words, especially the topic words, okay? So background information, talking about climate change, and of course for Part 4 of the listening, it's also testing your reading fluency. So there's no break, there's no pause. You have to not only listen quickly, but read quickly. So that's what makes Part 4 challenging, is you have to listen well, you have to read well, and you have to think in English. Okay? Everybody catch that? That's the challenging part of Part 4, is listen well, read well, and think in English without translating. That's what you really need to do to get a great score on Part 4, okay? All right, so humanity as well as other species may have to drastically alter their habits and habitats, and I can see a lot of people writing that, okay? So habits, plural, and habitats. And interestingly, of course, now with the pandemic situation around the world, we're seeing that there's even more to it than meets the eye. We might have to change our habits and habitats because climate change is, of course, changing nature as well, and that brings about situations like pandemics also. So more than meets the eye, more than meets the eye indeed. Okay, so habits, habitats, both of those go into space 31 on your answer sheet. The Earth's surface temperature has risen an estimated 1 degree centigrade. This type of information can help you locate yourself in the audio 1 degree centigrade. Numbers, although you see words here, this is a number, and numbers can really help you to locate the information. Yeah, Pooja, habits and habitats, the plural is required in that case. Yeah, habits, habitats. Okay. All right, business and environmentalists have been at odds. They don't say odds in the audio, they say adversaries with one another, but the emergence of something may change this. Anybody catch that? Yeah, Sammy says it's green products. Nighaim agrees. Yeah, green products, simply it's goods and merchandise that are environmentally friendly. So it's green products. If you found this a little bit fast and a little bit challenging, no worries. It's part 4. It's testing for high bands, band 7, 8, 9. Okay. So green products is the correct answer there. I definitely recommend writing lowercase for the audio here, just so you can be faster. Okay. So save the uppercase for your answer sheet. All right. And then causes and implications. So climate change is caused by greenhouse gases, specifically what? So what kind of greenhouse gas causes a lot of this change? CO2, yeah, so the professor says carbon dioxide, and they will accept that answer, okay? CO2, so carbon dioxide. CO2 is the easiest answer to give here. And they'll take the chemical abbreviation for sure. Okay, that is carbon dioxide according to chemistry. So keep it simple. Okay, avoid spelling mistakes whenever possible. Warmer weather can cause extreme weather patterns. Ice caps could melt and famine could occur. Northern Canada may become a beneficiary. Beneficiary means a person or entity that benefits. As far as food production is concerned, it could become a more productive place for farming. Very good. Shirojidin, Patel, Pooja. Now it's just one word here, farming. Okay. Productive place for farming. A big negative is that the melting permafrost contains a lot of carbon, which will be released if the ice caps melt, of course. And as we know now, it can also lead to a lot of other problems. Who is going to change? People who think each person is responsible for themselves believe that small steps, such as using energy efficient something or riding a bike, can help. Anybody catch number 35? Energy efficient. That's right, light bulbs. Light bulbs. A bulb, light bulb, of course, is this object here that we screw in to the electrical outlet so that we have light. It's called a light bulb. Light bulb. Okay, light bulb. All right. Very good, students. Very good for those of you who are catching these. Governments from developing nations want developed nations to pay them for causing such environmental damage. The economics, okay, so the economics behind it, the something of supply and demand. This was quite a challenging question. It's 2 words. It's the something of supply and demand. And Alex, very nice. Charlie, I think they would take light bulb, not plural there. Okay, so that's a good question. They would take light bulb. This was invisible hand. That's right. Invisible hand. You had to actually catch the word there. The invisible hand of supply and demand. Right? People want it, so we make it, so people buy it. More people want it, we make more of it, so more people buy it. In English, that's called supply and demand in economics. Economists wonder when consumer demand for environmental products will surpass products that pollute. So there's actually a question in my mind. Right before the class started, I changed the batteries in my microphone, and I always use rechargeable batteries. And in my mind, this question came up. Why do we even have disposable batteries in the world still? Why don't we just have rechargeable batteries? Everybody should be forced to use rechargeable batteries. I don't get why we even have disposable batteries anymore. One solution is that the problem is to institute a true cost tax. Very good. This is my little anecdote about rechargeable batteries. I never buy disposable batteries, students. Don't buy disposable batteries. It's more expensive and it hurts the environment. It saves money to buy rechargeable batteries and the environment. Here we go. This would provide an economic something to buy environmentally friendly products. Okay. So, thank you, Alex. You caught that. Okay. Like the feedback. So this would provide an economic something. Economic pressure. Yeah. Kashisha. Yeah. Pressure. Pressure is good. Very good. Pressure. So an economic pressure. Yeah. If we say, hey, you want to buy a disposable battery? No problem. $20. You want to buy a rechargeable battery? $5. It's pressure to buy the environmentally friendly rechargeable battery. Absolutely. Okay, and the conclusion. Climate change is going to change our way of life. Who will pay for the necessary changes in our consumption patterns? With the growing demand for environmentally friendly goods, it is arguably something. Which can best answer this? Okay. So, it is arguably who? Yeah, Nick Haim, very good. Businesses. Businesses. Now here again, I think, Charlie, you might be thinking this. Can I use singular here? Yeah, you can. It makes sense. So it is arguably business which can best answer this question. So business and businesses are both okay for this because both of them are grammatically correct. So what really matters with the plural and the singular is that the grammar has to fit the space, okay? So if it fits the space, it's totally okay, all right? Okay, and then it is apparent, however, that something have a responsibility to look after the environment. So this last one, number 40, anybody catch that one? And you can kind of guess it, even if you missed it. There's two words. Yeah, Sammy, very good. We all. That we all have a responsibility. Okay? You can't have everyone because everyone would be has. Okay? So it has to be we all. Okay? Everyone have is grammatically incorrect. Everyone has would be correct, but because of have, you need we all. Okay? We all. Right? The grammar has to make sense, otherwise it'll be marked wrong. Okay, students, now add up your score from 40. So for those of you who were here yesterday as well for part 1 and part 2, you'll be able to total your score out of 40 for this listening section. And then let's take a look. I'm going to darken up the screen here just for 2 minutes while I show you this. Okay, so we'll hop over to the website here. And on the bottom of the website, you will find a link to our score calculator. There's our social media. And then you'll find the score calculator here. Okay. So click on that score calculator that I just went to. Here's our score calculator, and the top box is for listening. You see that there's listening and academic reading. So listening, academic reading. If you type in your raw score out of 40, then you'll get the actual band score. So we'll go through a few of them here. Dr. Krishna says, perfect score, 40-40. Dr. Krishna, have you seen this listening before, or was it the first time? That's a question. Okay. All right, so let's do a few of them. So if you got 30, I see a couple people got 30. So if you got 30 out of 40, then you got, I guess would be 6.5? No, 7. Okay, so if you got a raw score of 30, then you got a band score of 7 in that listening section. Okay, if you got 32, you got a score of 7.5. Just for fun, 31, still 7. Yeah, so 7.5 starts at 32. Okay, the field narrows as you go higher and higher. If you got 34, it's still 7.5. Okay. Hitesh, 29. 29 is 6.5. Okay, so 29 is 6.5. If you get one more, if you get 30, you'll get 7. Okay, so Nighaim, you would get 7 by just 1 mark. Okay, Adnan says 22. 22 is band 5.5. All right. And then the really high band scores start way up there at 38, would be 8.5. And then 39 is where you get the 9. Okay. So you can only make one mistake to get a band 9. Of course, 40 is 9 as well. So 39, 40, that's a perfect score. And then, of course, for the reading section, it's different for academic in general. So if you're doing your reading, you can check your score on this website, ahelp.com, for academic. But if you're doing it for general, please go to the score calculator at gieltshelp.com, because the calculation is different for general versus academic reading. Okay, so it doesn't work the same way for academic as for general. So please make sure you're on the right website, otherwise you'll be surprised by the different results. Is everybody clear on that? Okay, so listening section, it's the same, but the reading, it's different. Okay, the academic is marked more strictly than the general. So make sure you're clear on that. Okay. All right, everyone. If you want to get our other 5 full listening exams and reading exams and writing and speaking, visit our websites. You'll find an interactive course there with lots of strategies, a lot of HD videos that are structured in a curriculum. And of course, you can also get our apps, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. You can get those apps from our app stores. So link the app, Academic IELTS Help, to your website, or General IELTS Help to this website. You can join the app and the website together. That's it for today. Tomorrow, I will be back to finish task 2 with our members that we started today. And of course, we'll do a speaking part 2 for everyone. Hopefully, everybody is off to a good and healthy weekend. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye for now. Much love from Budapest.